Hello, ma'am. Thank you so much. And good afternoon, sir. So, the participants, the floor is open for questions. So, you can either write the question on the chat box or unmute yourself and ask the question.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
This is Ipsita Mishra from BMS College of Law. Sir, I really liked your thoughts about the future transition and all. It's really impressive and it gave us a really good hope that we can do better. So, sir, but there is a thing that having a law background in all this situation and scenarios with regards to internship and all, it helps a lot. What, in your opinion, that having a law background is a good thing, is a bad thing? My first question. Second question would be that
Law background. Just a minute. Law background. Are you trying to say that the family background, family law background?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's all, sir.
Yes.
And
So,
how to get a good connection with lawyers? How to get a good environment to work with them?
okay. So, in answering your first question, having a family background is always a beautiful thing. So you don't have to worry. If you have the family background, it's a very beautiful thing. You can always utilize that. But my suggestion to everyone who have the family, who has the family background is that use that in the right time. Do not waste it in your first year and second year. Use that in the right time. And if your family is a lawyer, obviously you are not going to get so much of difficulty in getting internships if they have good contact in big town. If you want to do internship in Delhi, Bombay, and Bangalore. So when you have a family, you always have that tendency to be confident, and you don't have to worry about so that tension, that stress just goes out of your mind. So to have a family background is always good, enhancing your skills. I would like to tell you that even when we are an advocate, because I'm a first generation lawyer, there is no one in my family who held their beacon of law on my hand. There was no one. So, and to be in Delhi, it's really very tedious, and it's a Herculean task, and to manage yourself in that time. And sometimes I feel that, okay, there are so many questions which during internship or when I'm even practicing, I can get while reading the books, but there are few questions which I have to have someone as a mentor, which I have to, and I cannot, contact my mentor every time. So when I see someone who is from my family and who is, suppose my father, my maternal uncle, my paternal uncle, I can immediately call them and ask, those doubts. So that really helps a lot. And what was your second question?
How to get a contact with good lawyers?
Again, see,
because not having a
correct.
not having a family background is a problem. So how to maintain that?
I'll personally tell you that how it happens with me. So again, it will take 2 to 3 minutes to narrate you my entire tale of woes. So I think I may take it. Okay. So now what happened with me? As I told you, I'm a first generation lawyer. So it does not mean that you will not get anything. I did my first internship when in my hometown in NGO, and I really worked hard there. That was a human rights NGO. I even wrote an article. So my hometown is suppose Panna, where diamonds are found in Madhya Pradesh. So I wrote an article that the condition of diamond city as a coal. So whatever I had to write, I wrote that. And that was again published in some newspaper articles as a newspaper article. After that, I applied to someone in my state, to some normal advocate in my state, and I again worked there. I started building my CV for the right time to apply in the right place. And if you apply to 20 advocates, out of 20, 2 will say yes. They will not say no. Everyone is not looking for some recommendation and for some backup or some jugaad. So if you are applying to 20 advocates, your CV is good, you definitely and certainly will get a job or will get a next internship. So don't have to worry about it. Just be very professional with your work. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. It was really great to hear you.
Thank you. Yeah. Any other question?
Yeah,
I think someone is.
Yes, sir. The question from S. Sriram. He wants to know about internships on law teaching. So he wants to know if a law student who wants to become a good lawyer can pursue internship under a good lawyer. But then if any student who wants to pursue as a good law teacher in the future. So are there any internship opportunities for the same?
Just a minute. What about a law student who wants to be a good law teacher in the future? Definitely, you can have that. There is no prohibition in this. So again, as I told you, Schedule 3, Rule 25 of the Bar Council Rules on Legal Education allows that. You can have internship there, but you have to remember that in 1 year time period, you have to have an internship of with the trial or appellate advocates. You have to have the 28 days internship in 1 year. You have to have with the advocates, trial advocates, or the appellate advocates. Apart from there, wherever the law is taught, wherever the law is managed, wherever the law is practiced, you can have that. So the law says you have to have the 20 weeks internship when you are in 5-year course, and 12 weeks internship when you are in 3-year course. 28 days, it should not be stretched in one time, and in 1 year time period. Apart from that 20 years time period with advocates, you can have internship anywhere. You can do internship with the law teacher. There's no prohibition in that. Must complete one internship with the trial advocate or the appellate advocates who are working in the appellate court. That's mandatory.
Okay, and the next question is from Saida. Her question is about what if in course of 5 years of college, if we didn't get a chance to do moot court, will there be any problem to get any job?
No, again, there will be no problem, because see, I have personally seen so many students who have not done moot court competition but are doing amazing. So in Karnataka High Court, if you see, there is a senior advocate, you might be knowing, Mr. Aditya Sondhi. He has passed out from National School of India University, and he has never done moot court competition, and but he's doing very great. Why I'm referring Mr. Sondhi, because in that time there was moot court competition, and I'm not referring to Mr. Ramjit Malani, because in that time there was no moot court competition. So I'm referring to the example that at the same time when there were moot court competition and the importance of moot court competition was there. If you're not doing moot, it's okay. But yeah, at the same time, you must have interest, in some other things. You can't be blank that you have not done any debate competition, you have not written any articles, you have not presented any papers. That shows some ignorance, in co-curricular activities. In your CV, you have to maintain the balance in curricular and co-curricular. So your co-curricular is not only confined to the moot court competition. If you have not done, no problem. One more suggestion I would like to give, that so when you are writing an article, so now the trend has changed now. Okay, there are so many e-publications. E-publication in the sense, there is a live law, there is a bar and bench, there is a legit quest, legit eye. You can write your articles immediately and you can publish that. So again, we will have someday another session on how to write and how to publish that. But so this way you can build your CV. Okay, and if you have written something very important, suppose if some Supreme Court judgment has come yesterday, and if you are the first person who have written on this, live law, bar and bench will take your article if it is good. Okay, so just send them, because it will give you the Google recognition. I'll say the internet recognition is very important, because see, if your CV has come to me, if I'm Googling it, and if your name is coming in some other articles, I will be very happy to see you in my office. So you have to have the Google recognition and the internet recognition. So you don't have to bother about, confining yourself to the moot court competition. If you have not done, no problem at all. Just go to, extend your areas. So this is it.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, very good afternoon, sir. This is Aditya M. Sir, yes, I just wanted to ask one small question. Sir, what are the major things that we need to take care of in our student career, if we with respect to AR in Supreme Court?
What is that? I could not hear you. Have you written the answer in the chat question in the chat box?
No, sir. AR, sir, advocate on record with respect to Supreme Court.
So what is your question?
What are the major things that we need to take care of, sir, with respect to exams for future careers?
Okay, for civil judge exam, are you asking for civil judge, for LLM exams and so on?
Advocate on record, sir, Supreme Court of India.
Advocate. So again, you don't have to worry. There is an exam of advocate on record. The conditions are given under Supreme Court Rules 2013, which says that you have to have the experience of 5-year practice in Supreme Court or in any other court. And after that, there has to be 1 year internship under the advocate on record who have the 10-year experience being the advocate on record. You can write that exam, and your CV in that time does not matter. Okay. So you can directly crack that exam. You can become an advocate on record. There is no problem in that.
The next question is from Nirmal Jain. My question is his question is that as there are many online internships are also going on, so he wants to know the opinion on online internships and normal internships. So does online internship fulfill the statutory guidelines of 28 days internship?
Okay, so you have asked the question that importance of virtual internship and comparison. So my first answer to this is that in this time you do not have any other option, to go to the practical internship, because the advocates will not allow you until unless you have some family background and they personally know you, or your family maternal uncle or paternal uncle is an advocate. So first thing, you do not have any option in this time. And comparing both of them, again, I will say that when you physically go to the court, again, it's a different kind of exposure. But when you do virtual internship, you can have a good amount of research work. So there are so many people. I think there are 3 to 4 people who are still in my office and doing virtual internship with me. And they are quite professional and they fix their time, So they say that, sir, kindly let us know the work we have done and kindly fix some period of time, like tomorrow 2 p.m. or Saturday 2 p.m. so we can have a good interaction with you. So again, in virtual internship, you can have one-to-one a very good and beautiful interaction with your mentor, and they can know you very well. And it's not like that your mentor under whom you're interning in virtual internship, they will not give you time through Zoom. They will give you fast for. So again, it's a different experience for everyone. So you can do virtual internship. It's a nice thing.
I just wanted to know that there's certain presumptions everywhere that it takes a lot of time for lawyers to be successful in their careers. Do you think that the internships might help us to be successful a little earlier? And if you think so, I would like to ask, like, how can we make good use of those internships so that it might help us really in the future, like when we are practicing, when we get into work, good use of this internship so that it will help us in the future.
Okay. So your internship, no doubt, has a very good weightage when you come to practice. So suppose if you have done out of in 5 years, if you have done 10 internship, and out of 10, if you have done 5 internships in litigation, as I told you, after first internship, you if you have really worked hard, you should know the basics, mentioning rejoinder and so on. And when you come to practice, you are not blank. Now, what happens when you come to practice? The first thing you tell your to whom you are going to be recruited, you say that, sir, I'm a junior, I don't know anything, so you have to teach me. So first thing you should remember that when you are going to apply for a job, and when you are going to apply for an internship, you don't have to be burdened on the mentor. Once you are a burden on the mentor, they will start ignoring you. Again, time after time, someone, comes and pokes me, sir, iska kya karna hai, what to do, what not to do, now what, sir, now I have reached Saket Court, how to file the matter, how to go for it. What I expect from you, why I have hired you, the logic is to release my burden and not to get burden from you. Again, time after time, you are calling me. So when you have done internship, and if I give you very small things that to, get certified copy of this order, do this, just go and file this particular matter in advance, you know the basic things. I'm not saying that in internship, you will absolutely know that how to file a matter. But in those internships, you will get to know that how to take the assistance from other people to file the matter. Okay. And how not to, disturb your senior again and again. So these very basic things and the professionalism you will understand when you are in internship, and that will definitely boost, your career, I think, in that side. So it has weightage.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good afternoon, sir. I would like to know, when I'm interested in writing an article, how would I start the procedure? Like, where do I do it? How do I do it? Yeah.
So again. Many people will tell you about writing the article. Again, there is one question for the importance of certificate courses in CV. I would like to answer that also. First, I will come to this. See, when you start writing the articles, many people will suggest you that find out the area of interest, and then start writing in that. And let me assure you, if you have started writing in area of interest, that first year research will never end till your final year. That article will be like that on the desktop. Why? The reason is, when you are interested in something, you try to give your best, and the best never comes. The best from your side never comes. So, you all may have an experience that you thought that, okay, sir, I have an experience of writing in women empowerment. You have started writing that article, and in first year, in your first year or in second year, you open your desktop or laptop, you will see that still that article half, completed is still there. Why? Because you have gone through the wrong mode. I'm not saying that you should not do that. You write in the area of interest. But one additional thing you should add, again, if you have written in area of interest, first thing, you do not have the knowledge that what are the areas actually what people are demanding outside in the market. So suppose if you have written women empowerment, if you have written the human right, there are lakhs of articles. If you just Google it in women empowerment, you will find thousands and thousands of pages in the Google. So no one is going to take that as a publication, and in that time you will be demoralized. What you can do, so suppose, as I told you, if some judgment has come, you in LiveLaw, if you have LiveLaw or Bar and Bench and all these e-portals, you know what is going on in the Rajasthan, you know what is going on in Karnataka High Court, what is the controversy, you start writing about that. And suppose if some judgment or some controversy has just taken place yesterday, you start writing today and just complete it by tomorrow. You try to do that. And for that, you have to have the knowledge of the topic. If you don't know how to write, take the assistance of your professor, your assistant professor, your associate professor, your seniors who have good experience in this, and try to publish it as soon as possible. Because once in that topic which was there in the controversy, if there are few articles, they will not take yours. So try to do that as soon as possible. First come, first serve. Okay, so again, thank you. Someone has asked me about the certificate course. What is the importance of certificate course? See, when I see certificate course, there is a zero value. I do not care about it. In 5 years, there are 56 subjects. There are 56 compulsory subjects. There are few compulsory subjects. There are few not compulsory subjects. So when you tell me that there is a certificate course that I have done an IPR from this, I will first ask you what you have done in your 5-year law school. If you are not able to just, do justice with it, I will not go to your certificate course. So I'm not asking you not to do the certificate course. You can have that, but first you have to have, do justice with your 56 subjects in your law school. Okay, if you have not done that, I will not have any value of that certificate. Certificate does not matter. What I ask or what firms ask in the interview, that those things matters. Yeah, any other question, Prerna?
Yes, sir. The next question is from...
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. I wanted to ask, like you mentioned that we get the judgments from High Court of Rajasthan. How do we get into that?
Yeah. So
any link or any?
No, there is no link. You just see. There are many apps of e-portal. I don't want to. So I don't want to advertise them, but there are so many e-portals and which are really good. So, for example, LiveLaw, Bar and Bench, LaserChai. You can have. You can download their app. And in all that, there are complete legal news. Okay, there are all legal news you will find there. All the recent controversy which are going on the legal side. What Supreme Court is going to say today, what it is going to say tomorrow. Everything you will find that.
Which one you find it the best one, sir?
No, I'm not going to say that.
Okay.
My article gets publication in both and all that, so I don't want any contrary repercussions on me.
No, which one do you prefer? I'm asking.
You can go for, I told you, you can have some best in Google, best law e-portals in India. You can have that.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Thank you, Saida. Now we are going to give chance to others. There's a question from Devashish. Can a 5th semester student apply internship under High Court judge?
Yeah, there is no problem. If High Court judge is giving you internship, do apply and do get it. One more suggestion I would like to make. If you have any backup and if you do not have any backup, and this is the best, one of the most important suggestion which I would like to give you, start interning under judicial magistrates rather than interning under High Court judge. The entire CRPC, you will see in front of you before the magistrate. See, when you are doing internship in High Court, you will get to know the different writ petitions and so on. But the matters is very confined to Article 14, 21 and so on. But when you are in with the magistrate, you will see different kinds of applications, different types of argument, different types of trial. And that's the most beautiful things which you can learn in internship. So try to get internship under magistrate and a civil judge. So, you will have the basic idea of, before even going to for the recruitment, you will have a basic idea that how the civil court and the criminal court functions, where most of the matters are listed. So you can do that. Yeah, right. Please, Prerna.
Yeah, the next question is from Smith Singh. So what if someone is ignoring co-curricular and extracurricular activities and focusing on preparing for the judicial services examination?
That's no problem. There is no problem. Again, see, when you want to prepare for judicial service examination, so whatever I have told today is not applicable for any competitive law exam. Okay, is not applicable for any competitive law exam. I have, set forth all the points. If you want to apply for any firm, if you want to go to any senior advocate's office after 5 years, when there is no competitive law examination in that. So if you want to go for any competitive law examination, there is no problem in that. You can do that. But again, my one suggestion: do not choose the competitive law exam merely because you have not done anything till your final year. Do not do that. So if you do not have CV, if you are afraid of doing what to do, do not just pick that I want to prepare for civil judge exam because I do not have any other thing. So just have that consciousness in your mind, and if you are preparing for it, all the best and do it well. If you do not have anything in your CV, no problem.
Yeah, so next question is from Spurti. How difficult is to get a job or an internship in a law firm?
Again, that depends on criteria of firm to firm. If you have someone in the firm who can recommend you, that's always very good. And if you have, got a chance to intern under some good firm, just try to give your best. And again, suppose if you have done internship under a firm in your 4th year, so suppose you have done internship in 7th or 8th semester, so do it in 8th semester. So wherever you want to do job, do internship in your 7th semester or 8th semester, because you will have bit knowledge of law and the interpretive skills you may have. And after that, again apply in 9th semester in the same place. Okay, so you may get the pre-placement offer or something like that, assessment internship. So you can go for it like that. So again, it depends on firm to firm. Yeah.
The next question is from Aditya. What are the major things that we as juniors should take into consideration when we are there in assisting counsel to standing counsel in any matter?
Again, you have to be very punctual. So suppose when I'm relying on someone, you can't give me the excuses that, sir, traffic is there, in the way, so I could not come. And sir, I'm just coming in 5 minutes. This should not happen. And when you are, so this is the thing when you are outside of the court. Now, when you are inside the court, you, if you may have the very good discussion with your counsel one day before. And if your counsel is something like this, that he does not want to much, interact with the attorneys or with something like that, then you can have, just hear what is going on in the office. You can take the help of juniors and just be ready for all the case laws, what is going to be relied by the senior, because you will, get to know that in advance. So, and you have to be ready with the file. And one more suggestion I would like to make: when you're an attorney, you have to have the diary, not the court diary, but the case diary. Court diary is again the mandatory part from the Bar Council rules. I'm talking about the case diary. So in the 1 month period, you should know that when this case is listed, on what date, and when that case is listed for what purpose. Okay, so you have to know that. And if you know that, when that file is coming to you, because see, if my matter is listed tomorrow, obviously the attorney is not going to get that file today, because I'm going to have that file. So you will not, get chance to read that file. So what you can do, if in advance you know that this matter is going to be listed in day after tomorrow, you can already have that, 1 day prior to when I take the file. So day before, suppose today my matter is listed, you can have the file on day before yesterday and you can read it. And in that way, you can help your senior, sir, I have read this matter, may I brief you? So this will give a good impression. So that in prior to listing of the matter, only you have done the matter.
All right. Next question is from Mahesh Babu. Nowadays, systems and procedures are fast changing. The manual filing is outdated. Now, e-filing is gaining importance. So how can we help the senior judges while internship?
Senior judges?
Yes.
Or senior advocates?
It says senior judges.
No, it is senior advocates, sir. Excuse me, sir. Yeah.
So how you can assist the senior advocate in filing the matters? So again, see, senior advocate, first thing, do not file the matter. So matters are filed in the junior's office, and they engage the senior to argue the matter. So when senior argues the matter, every matter is complete. All the pleadings are complete. Like most of the time it happens that the matter filing is done. Either senior advocate will appear in first hearing or in the last hearing or the miscellaneous hearing. Matter is already completed. So in senior advocate, actually in filing, you can hardly be of any help. But to junior advocates, you can do that. If you have, read the proper rules, you go to the High Court websites, and if you have good experience of doing that, you can help them.
So the next question is from sir, how to choose a particular field in law when you're in particular field in law when you're in college, because it is a very complicated thing. This question is from Devashish Deval.
Okay, so to choose a particular field is not so complicated. If you have really worked hard, it's not complicated. Again, many people ask me, sir, what is, in which field there is a scope? So when I was in law school, there was a scope going on, in IPR. See, again, there is no concept of scope. There is no concept of fields that in this field, if I go, so I will get a job or something like that. So as there's a famous quote, be a cobbler but make sure that you want to be, it does not matter that whether you want to be a cobbler, but make sure that you be a best cobbler in the world. So it does not matter. Again, how to choose the field, it depends on your interest. It depends on your financial burden. Suppose if you have taken a loan, you just ask a question that if you are going to practice, are you going to, release that loan in few years? And how difficult it is going to be there. So you can decide that. First, if there is an education loan, you have to go for corporate job. So you can build your CV accordingly. In order to come for litigation, even if you have done 2 to 3 internships, good internship in litigation, that's okay. But if you are going to corporate job, you must have some background of corporate internships. So this is what I want to say. The choosing the field depends on the circumstances and your area of interest. And that differs, in third year, first year, there is some other interest you may have. When you realize, so in first year, I have seen many students say, I want to do litigation. I just want to, explore the world, because they do not see the hard work which is exerted in litigation. Now, when they go to court, what they see, lawyers are enjoying when the firm's people are working. How they are enjoying this? They have seen some lawyer having coffee in the canteen. They have seen some lawyers are having samosas, in mid-time, but they have not seen that they have to work till 2 o'clock in night. 3 o'clock in the night, and again in the morning they have to wake up at 8 o'clock. So there are so many responsibilities in litigation, and when they realize it in third year, they change their mind and they say, okay, I want to have the secure job. Just 2 days back, I got to know that there was one senior advocate in Madhya Pradesh who was selling tea. The senior counsel in Madhya Pradesh was selling tea, and it was very heart-rending news for me. So someone will say that, okay, after reading those news, that I want to be secure, and the people who were thinking for litigation now, they may have turned their mind for the more security and for corporate job. So it happens, and for that you must have the background in your CV of 5 varieties of internships. This is what I want to say.
Absolutely, sir. That's where internships help us to find the area. Anyways, the next question is from Debolina. Sir, are internships necessary when it comes to judicial exams? Do they see our internships in our CV in interview?
Okay. So when there is an interview, there is no doubt that if you have done good internship in litigation, that will help you, because when you write that you have done internship and you have described that internship properly, so in that time, the judges may ask you questions on that. And when they ask you questions on that, and when you are already, prepared for the same, you take out those few minutes from their mind and you answer that beautifully. And that gives you, good impression in their mind that, okay, he has answered that properly. And apart from that, if someone, if you have not done, so internship, again, there's a statutory requirement, you may be in trouble. So you have to do that. And if someone has not done internship, good internships, I'm saying, and if it is coming to their CV, they will confine to the very basic points. They are not going to go to these parts. It will not matter so much, as I told you in competitive law examination.
Is there an importance in formatting of CV, and also how to maintain the connection with advocates once the internship is finished with them?
As I told you, first CV formatting obviously matters, because when you have so many things to put, then in that time in 2 pages to cover that is quite a difficult task. So try to find out the most important things and try to have a very good CV. If you are independently applying for a firm or for a job, you can do not just download the Google CV. Take CVs of someone who is already working in the firm. Try to contact them. And answering the second question that about the internship, where that how to be in touch with those advocates. So in India, it's not, I think, difficult to be in touch with the people. So suppose if someone is Hindu, you can just call them on Diwali and just wish them. If someone is Christian, you can call them in Christmas and you wish them. Someone is Muslim, you can wish them in Eid. So there are so many various ways. It depends on your mind how to be in touch with these people, and they will appreciate you if you are doing in the right time. Again, do not just call them at 11 o'clock on Tuesday when the court hearing is going on. Say, hello, sir, how are you? I just felt like calling you. Do not do that. Again, call them. Try to be in touch with them in right time. And wait for the time. Don't be impatient.
So I, Prerna Kala, on behalf of Law Internships and BMS College of Law, extend a hearty gratitude to Mr. Pawan Rile sir, who honored us with this enriching session and took out time of his busy schedule. And also to Ms. Shilpa Shenoy ma'am for being the moderator for the session. I must also mention our deep sense of appreciation to all the students who are present today. Hope this session was a great learning experience for all of you.